Hi, I'm Kathleen, owner of Voice of Freedom and an editor with the Golden Age of Gaia, Steve Becko. And this is my first video, so please bear with me. But I wanted to share a little bit about what I've been drawn to in the last couple of years. Um, I spent several years meditating every single day for quite long periods of time. But what I found was that at a certain point, I realized I'd shifted. And I was drawn to reach out into the community around me here in Vancouver. And what I found, and it felt like it was an accident, but I don't think so. I found a therapeutic community run by a fellow called John Volkin. And what he does is he has created a 2 year program for young people struggling with extreme alcohol and drug addiction. And he doesn't charge much money for it. He only charges $5,000, and he teaches them life skills, as long as well as a great deal of counseling. And the program is a very full program. But I went to one of the graduations, and I was so taken with what he's done. I just reached out and said, "Is there anything I can do? Would the girls like to learn to sew?" And I got a resounding yes. So I started driving out there once a week to teach sewing and getting to know these beautiful young women. One thing led to the next, and I found that there were a few things that they could use. One was haircuts. So I started organizing a day where they could, have their nails done and their hair cut and just a little bit of pampering. So now we do that about every 3 months. Found a wonderful salon here that has fallen in love with them, just like I've fallen in love with them. And every 3 months they contact me and ask me when can the girls come? I'm like, yeah. Another thing I started helping them with was clothing. My mom works in a reuse it center, so she started gathering clothes for the men and for the women for me to give to them. And I reached out to my friends too and said, "Come on, go through your closets. What have you got?" So that's a beautiful flow of energy that's going to them. At one point, the women started asking me if I'd like to do something with them that they had organized, and last summer we went to a sweat lodge. Amazing Indigenous elder ran a guided meditation in the sweat lodge, and the next week she was doing her own art show, so I was invited to that. And then on the way home from that art show, one of the girls asked me if I had any connection to horses or to the theater. So I said, "No, not really, but let me see what I can do." And the phone calls I made, I got yet resounding yeses. I've met now a beautiful woman that owns therapeutic horses that we've gone to see twice, that we'll be going to see again in the spring. And Theater Under the Stars, very famous here in Vancouver, something that happens every summer in Stanley Park, gave us 13 tickets for a night in the summer. We had beautiful weather. We saw a family of raccoons running through the people. It was a magical evening. So I would never guess that any of these things would happen. But when we go within and that heart inspiration that comes through, it's extraordinary. So thank you to my divine circle for inspiring this. I'm in awe. As the girls graduate, I've been keeping in touch with them on Facebook. I've watched parents of other students just in awe, sitting in awe in the graduations as the graduates tell their stories, their heart-wrenching stories of where they've been and now where they are. It's a incredibly inspiring. I'm so blessed that I have been able to witness what John Volkin is doing. I have given out hundreds of brochures for this therapeutic community, and it's astonishing how many people in Vancouver have absolutely no idea it's there. We're losing thousands of young people to the opioid crisis, overdoses every single day. And here's a therapeutic community that works. It is a 2-year program, so it's a long program. But as we are finding with our ascension process, it's a process. So once you've struggled with that type of addiction, it's a process every single day to stay in the center. I've shared with the women what I know about universal laws and divine qualities and the dimensional growth patterns, and they've been fascinated with it. We started teaching, and then a whole new group of girls came in, so it's fallen to the wayside for a little bit right now, but I'm sure we'll get back to it as the new girls anchor in a little more and become more comfortable. The higher realms, through channeled messages, have encouraged us to create societies where everyone is equal, to lift up our most vulnerable, and that's exactly what John is doing. The mother has blessed us with her guidebook about the laws and the blessings and virtues and the dimensional growth patterns, but it's not like I even have to say much. I don't. I just show up. And somehow that love that emanates from us becomes, it just is. We're all here to live in community and uncover our sacred purpose, how we can help. What is our piece to the puzzle in this divine plan? And of course it's unfolding. I am great gratitude to Linda Dillon, Suzanne Maresca, and Steve Becko for the Inlight radio shows where we were gifted with the information about the laws and the blessings and virtues and the dimensional growth patterns. And if I carry them within me, sometimes that's enough. I don't even have to say anything. Unless someone asks. And then when they ask, I share. Thank you for listening to this. Monthly subscriptions are partly how I subsist. So if you feel guided to make a donation to one of my websites, I have one called A Door to Everything, which is where we post our volunteer work with the women in recovery. And Voice of Freedom, of course, is where I look at what's happening in the news and also how things work in the higher realms. And if you'd like to donate, I so appreciate it. It helps me to live, helps me to maintain these sites, and continue on with my volunteer work. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Blessings. Peace, love, joy.